Hello and welcome to online class with me Nusrat Alam, lecturer in English, Milestone College. A very happy new year to you all and hope that this year brings some blessings and good news for us all. With this note, let's start our today's online class on completing table with informations or information transfer. Yes, it is similar to that of information transfer that you practiced for SSC. We find it in English first paper, question number 2 and total marks 10. My dear students, you might feel confused that in question number 2 you have a flowchart. Yes, there is an option. You might get a flowchart or a table to complete using a reading text. So our today's online class is on how to complete a table from a reading text. In the question, a text is given from your EFT book, and after reading that text, we have to complete a table which lacks some informations, and the informations should be taken from the text to complete the table. The table demands some answers related to some keywords, and they are who or what, event or activity, when or time, how or where, or name of the place. It means the table is the shortest possible presentation of some events instead of a long description. This is how it looks like in our examination. The text has been taken from EFT book, and after that there is a table. We have to go through the text carefully and fill up the gaps inside the table. Now let me give you some tips how to answer them in our examinations.
Some tips to answer information transfer. First of all, read and understand the questions. We have to go through the whole question carefully before we start answering. Skim the reading text to get an idea of it. Number 3, scan the reading text from your answers.
What is skimming and scanning? Skimming is reading the text fast. As we don't have much time in our examination, we have to read the text fast and carefully. And scanning means we have to scan the whole passage to find out answers for the table.
Before we start answering, we have to keep these 4 things in our mind. Number 1, answers should be in single words or in phrases. It means our answer should be very short. Number 2, answers should be taken from the given text. Number 3, do not give your answers as you wish. It means we cannot give our answer following our own choice or our beliefs. We have to stick to the given text and stick to those informations that are in the text. Number 4, watch out on spelling mistakes. As our answers contain 1 or 2 words or a small phrase, we cannot afford making any spelling mistakes, because for that we might lose some of our marks.
To make this item clear to you all, we have taken a sample question from Borishal Board 2017. Let's read the text first.
For today's exercise practice, we have taken an information transfer or completing the table with given information from Borishal Board 2017, question number 2. And the question says, read the text and complete the table below with the given information. Total marks 10. After this text, we have a table and we have to fill up all the gaps taking information or taking help of the given reading text. So before we start answering them, we have to go through the passage very carefully. So now let's move on and skim and scan. I declared that the assembly would continue to meet. Here I forgot to tell you, this passage has been taken from Unit 1 EFT book. There is an historic speech by Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. From that lesson, this passage has been taken. I declared, it means Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman declared that the assembly would continue to meet. But suddenly on the 1st of March, the assembly was shut down. Mr. Yahya Khan called the session of the assembly in his capacity, that means in his power, as the president, and I declared I would be attending it. Mr. Bhutto said he wouldn't be part of it. 35 members of the assembly came from West Pakistan to take part in its proceedings. But it was dissolved all of a sudden. It means the session of the assembly was broken all of a sudden. The blame was put on the people of Bengal. The finger was pointed at me. After this assembly session was prorogued, the people of the country protested. It means after the session was stopped, the people of Bengal protested. I told them, observe the general strike we have called peacefully. I told them, shut down all mills and factories. Our people responded to my call. They came to the streets spontaneously. They expressed their firm determination to carry out the struggle peacefully. What have we got in return? Those who brought arms with our money to defend us from external enemies are now using those arms on the poor, the wretched, the downtrodden people of the land. Bullets are being aimed at their hearts. We constitute the majority in Pakistan, but whenever we Bengalis have tried to assume power, they have used force on us. That was the passage, and now we have to go through the questions very carefully. What is the demand of the questions? Here you must have observed that this table has 4 columns. First column contains the subjects of the sentence, and second one contains the events or activities. Number 3, where or name of the places should be placed. And number 4, when or how those activities were done, those information should be given. Let me tell you, my dear students, all the answers that we are going to put over here are actually the answers of some keywords that I already told you earlier. Who, what, event or activity, where or place, when or how. And after you completing each line, you will find that this is the short form of a complete sentence.
My dear students, you must have noticed that there are 10 gaps inside the table. We have to fill them up with the informations that are given in the text. We just cannot use our own imagination or whatever we like, but the answer should be taken strictly from the text. So let's find out.
The first one says, subject is, or what are we talking about here? The assembly. What happened with the assembly? The assembly was shut down, and our first gap or the information has been placed in the column when or how. That means we have to mention the time or how the assembly was shut down. So we have to go back to our passage again to find out the answer. And where is that line? Here. But suddenly on the 1st of March, the assembly was shut down. When was it shut down? On the 1st of March. So our answer should be 1st of March. Second line says, Mr. Yahya Khan is the subject, and he did something, and when or how he did, as a president. He did something being a president. And what he did? Mr. Yahya Khan called the session of the assembly in his capacity as the president. As he was the president, he had the power to call the assembly. So our answer should be called the session of the assembly. Here, Mr. Yahya Khan called the session of the assembly as the president. Number 3, the subject column, we have Bongo Bondhu, and he did something, how to meet or when. So he did something to meet. What he did? I declared that the assembly would continue to meet. Here I means Bongo Bondhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. What he did? He declared. What he declared? That the assembly would continue to meet. So to complete the sentence, we have to take our answer in this way. Declared that the assembly would continue to meet. Number 4, here we have to find out the subject. The event is given over here, or the activity is given. The activity was disagreed to join the assembly. Yes, we can remember somebody disagreed to take part in that session. Who was that? Mr. Bhutto said he wouldn't be part of it. Part of what? The session of the assembly. So our answer is Mr. Bhutto. Here, Mr. Bhutto disagreed to join the assembly. Next line, 35 members joined the assembly. Where or the name of the place. That means they joined the assembly, where they joined, or from where they came to join. We have to find out that information. And here is the line. 35 members of the assembly came from West Pakistan to take part in its proceedings. From where? From West Pakistan. So here is the answer, from West Pakistan. Number 6 also needs the subject, and we have to find out the subject who did the activity of was dissolved. What was dissolved? We have to find out the answer, and in the same line we have another gap, and that is number 7. And when or how did it dissolve? So something was dissolved. Let's find out that line first. Yes, but it was dissolved or broken all of a sudden. What was dissolved? The session of the assembly was dissolved or broken all of a sudden. How did it broke? How did it break all of a sudden? So we have two answers already over here. It. Instead of it, we have to use the session of the assembly and all of a sudden. So here are those two answers. The session of the assembly was dissolved all of a sudden. Number 8. Bangabandhu told the people. Here the activity is incomplete. Bangabandhu told the people to do something. What did he say? And not only that, he told his people to do something peacefully. So let's find out that line first. I told them, observe the general strike we have called peacefully. Yes, here our answer is to observe the general strike. What he said, he told to observe the general strike. So the answer should be Bangabandhu told the people to observe the strike peacefully. Last line. Here we have two gaps, two information should be found out. We have to find out from the text. The people dash, people did something, and where they did, to the streets. And when they did, that information is also to found. So here the people did something on the street. So let's find out what the people did to the streets. And here is the answer. They came to the streets spontaneously. What they did, they came to the streets, and how they came, spontaneously. So our answers are came and spontaneously. So here are our answers, came and spontaneously. So my dear students, we have been able to find out all the answers successfully, but don't get scared. You don't need to rebuild the whole chart again in your exam paper. You just have to write only the answers. Just like write answer to the question number 2 on the top of your copy, and then use the Roman numbers or whatever number that the table is using. Use the same number to write your answers just like this. So I believe you have understood how you have to answer this information transfer or complete the table in your exam. So my dear students, please have patience while doing this, and it's going to be very easy for you to score 10 out of 10.
So my dear students, you must have found that this item is very easy, and it's really easy for you, and it's going to help you a lot to get good marks in our examination. I believe that if you attempted this question sincerely and carefully, it's not difficult at all to get 10 out of 10. With the hope of your better result and better health, I'm going to end up my today's online class here. See you some other time with some other topic. Till then, bye-bye.